just about to go into the beautiful studio of the famous David Tupaz, American couture, here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let me show you David's beautiful window display that he's done for the holidays. Of course, the traditional black and white, very influential of the Coco Chanel look. His masks in the window are very popular right now. Everybody's buying them. He's doing a resort wear line, also in black and white, but in various colors. But right now, this is what's trending. And here we have some other fashions for the fall. Animal print is what's the latest in style. So this is what David has created. Good afternoon. My name is Teresa Gatos, and I'm here today in Las Vegas at the beautiful studio of the famous David Tupaz. Today, David is going to tell us about his career and how he became famous, and also show us some of his latest designs. So if you're ever visiting, you can come here and check out his gorgeous designs, and you could also see his fashions online through Shopify. So today, please join me for a lovely journey at the wonderful and beautiful studio of the famous David Tupaz. David? Hi.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thanks so much, David, for being here today. You know what? As a Filipino American, you make me so proud.
Thank you.
You bring tears of joy to my eyes when I see what you've accomplished. You are a world-famous designer, and not just in fashion, but in art, in decor. David, please tell us more about yourself. You're so fascinating.
Being Filipino, it's in our culture that it's what we can give, it's not what we can get, and you know that. But the thing is, I've always believed that, ever since I was a little boy, my grandfather, my father's father, would always see me. He would always put me on his lap, and he would always tell me, David, you have to be the best of what you can be. If there's any family get together, he would always single me out, and he would always say those words. And I guess I don't understand what he meant at that time. It's always be the best of yourself, become the best, and he started to laugh.
That is so Filipino.
Exactly. And so he said to me, okay, now that you're about to enter college, he says, I can feel that you have a direction in life. I want to be involved in the arts. I want to concentrate on that. And I can see myself in the next 20 years. And he goes, that is good, because by the time you reach your goal and by the time your dreams come true, he said, I might not be there anymore. The reason why I want you to be the best of what you can be, he said, is because there's only going to be one William Shakespeare that after 500 years, we are still studying and appreciating his work. There's only going to be one Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart that after 300 years, we are still playing his music. There's only going to be one Albert Einstein that has changed the course of science, whose discoveries mankind is benefiting from today. There's only going to be one Chanel that has changed how women dress and made the little black dress a uniform for all women of style. Who are these people, he said. They're not kings, they're not queens, they're not presidents. They're ordinary people like you and me. But what they did is they became the best of what they can be, and what they contributed mattered. You have to feel honored that the universe gave you the gift of creativity because it is not available to everyone. You have to feel honored that the universe chose you instead of the next guy to give you this gift because the universe feels you deserve it. But this gift comes with a responsibility. When you're a creative person, you're like a light. Where do you put a light? You don't put it under the table. You don't hide it in the closet. You don't keep it in the box. You put the light above in the center of the room so that everything around it shines. That is the responsibility of a creative person, because the universe is just using you. That through this gift, you can prove to mankind that life is worth living and that whatever you can contribute can make life more beautiful.
That is so wonderful and so well said. It is such an honor and such a pleasure to know you and to have the opportunity to sit here with you today and to come to your studio.
Like our grandparents, they are from the old world. They're from the
Yes.
old school. And so for some reason, we always kind of make a joke out of it. That, oh, he's old school. Oh, he's so old fashioned. But there is some benefit. There is
Yes.
some knowledge and wisdom that is very beneficial from that particular time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I think the work ethic, I think something...
Integrity is one of them.
Integrity and work ethic. I
Yeah,
think
no
all
matter
of it.
whether you're rich or you're poor, it's your integrity, it's your name. It is the thing that will allow you to succeed when people respect you, when people like you, right?
Yes,
So I think
absolutely.
that is something, I think it's innate in the Filipino culture.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's innate in the Filipino culture that there is a saying that, uh, our ability to give and our ability to be of service to others, even if we're about to eat the last piece of rice or
To
the
give
last
it
piece of bread,
to another.
you would still give whatever
Yes.
that is to someone who's in need
Yes.
and deprive yourself of it just to be of service.
That is our culture
That's
for
our
sure.
culture.
Yeah.
In 2012, I established the first Las Vegas Fashion Design Council.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and what it does is it's through an experience that I've went through when I came to Vegas. I didn't live here yet. I was still in California, but it was a story where I realized that there's so many naturally talented young kids,
Sure,
but there
yes.
is a lot of them that come from money, and for you to enter or to enroll to fashion school is about $100,000.
Yes.
And so they don't have that ability. So I created this particular council, which is a nonprofit organization, is to help these kids in their creative growth by giving them workshops and kind of like learning educational programs and stuff like that. I'm talking about history of fashion and what is important in fashion, and all that stuff. So that in the point where they feel that they want to make a career out of this creativity that they have some sort of a background.
Absolutely, and it helps them to develop those skills in developing a portfolio, public speaking, building additional skills that they're going to need to get recognized professionally.
It is not enough that what we do just turns out done right, like it's done right. No, it has to be presented beautifully.
Absolutely, and that is one of the best things you absolutely do.
You know what I'm saying? We or anything, it becomes a passion.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, it's a passion.
When it's a passion, that's when the great designers from the time of Chanel to Dior and all of them, it was passion because it came from here.
Yes.
And to this day, their names are still there.
Are still there.
They're gone for almost 100 years, and yet their names are still there. That's when you say that my name lasts forever. And one of the things I teach them is that you can design the most fantastic wardrobe, the most fabulous outfit, that when people see it, they're gonna, oh my God, and they're going to adore you and worship you. But if that outfit doesn't sell, it doesn't mean anything. Because fashion is actually a commercial entity. You have to sell the product.
And you have to give the people what they want.
So, I love what I do. I think, I never really, because it never felt like work for me.
It was a passion.
Yeah, it was a passion, so I enjoy doing it. When I see fabrics, when I get materials from all over the world, primarily in Italy and in Paris and Switzerland and Spain, and they all come and you see them in the collection, and then all of a sudden you have this idea. A lot of people ask me where my inspiration comes from when I do a collection. It does really come from events. It comes from experiences, or sometimes I would read a book or see a movie, or even the soundtrack music of the movie.
Oh, yes.
Right?
When you're talking about inspiration, I could look at the cover of a magazine and all of a sudden something pops into my mind.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden, the moment I get it, sometime in the middle of the night, I would wake up and write it down because I might forget it. The thing with me at that time, I think when the pressure was strong, is I was creative. I think it was that creative outlet
That
that
helped
kind of
you.
kept me sane.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Kept me out of that depression, or that it's because of that creative outlet.
It kept you focused,
Yeah.
actually.
And so I told myself, one day I'm going to be so famous that all of you are going to kiss the ground I walk on.
And God bless you, you achieved it, and we are so proud of you. I am so, so proud of you.
At the Las Vegas Fashion Design Council, we have a slogan, and it says there, it doesn't matter who you are. It also doesn't matter what you have. What matters is how others have become because of you. Why not? When everybody thought moving to Las Vegas, because my background was I was in New York and then LA and then New York and then LA and then Vegas, So everybody was like, why? Why would you pursue a career of fashion in a place that's not supposedly fashionable? You know what I'm saying? Or in the fashion radar. And I said to them,
You did it before Vegas hit the fashion radar in the world of glamour that it's known for today.
Yeah, and I said, why not? I said, talent doesn't know any logistics.
Right, or limits.
No, there's no limit to fashion. Why does it always have to be the jurisdiction of New York? Why does it always have to be Paris? Why does it always have to be London?
Yes.
Why? Because talent is everywhere.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. So, and that's one of the reasons why I felt like I had to come to Vegas. It's because for me, Vegas is the last frontier.
Absolutely.
It is the last glamorous city in America that hasn't been tapped yet. Whereas New York and LA are saturated.
They're totally saturated.
Saturated. In order for you to be somebody in those places or to achieve your goals in those places, it's either you have a $1 billion backer who's going to finance you all the way, or you're very much well connected to the who's who in town. But if you do not have that luxury of having those connections, it's very difficult, especially us being a minority in this country. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, in my case, I did everything myself.
You did.
I practically did everything myself. And the thing that I would always tell the designers I would mentor is that, I was not born in America. I was not born in your country. So the fact that I can create a name for myself in a country I was not even born in, I must be really doing something great. So there is no excuse for you guys who are born in this country not to shine.
That's right.
You have to, because this is your own, this is your country. If other people and other immigrants from other countries can become somebody in your country, isn't that a shame when you don't? When you can't be somebody in your own country?
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
I came to your country with just a luggage. And whatever is here, and whatever is here. That's what I tell them.
And you made it.
Exactly.
I mean,
I think, the American dream is really real.
It's
true.
absolutely
It really
real.
depends on the person, And I still believe that the American dream is still there. And, I just hope that this new year, 2021, when life gets back to normal after the pandemic, and, with the new administration and all that, let's just hope that things become better.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, you know what I love, David, is that when you talked about how you were, in Manila, then New York, and then you came here to Vegas. When I was studying architecture and went to school for art and art history, our professors would tell us, and you would appreciate this being an artist, to break the rule is to know the rule. And that's exactly what you did. Mm-hmm. You defied the rules of New York and LA, and you came to Vegas, and you developed this amazing business. Tell us a little bit about that, how when you arrived here and how you grew your business to where it is today.
Well, actually, it was an accident that brought me to Vegas. In 2008, I had a showroom in California because from New York I moved to LA. And so actually that is where I started developing a name in the industry, being in California because it's Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? And then I started meeting celebrities and they started wearing my clothes. So and so I was able to establish my name first in California. And so in 2008, my showroom, it was in Topanga Canyon. I had a showroom where I entertained my guests, got robbed.
Oh, that's awful.
Exactly. And the thing there is that 15 years of my work
Vanished.
gone.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
Because, I have samples, archives of my design.
Oh, sure, drawings.
And not only that, the actual garment
The actual-
themselves.
yes.
And then since I started doing custom, I custom make gowns and outfits for all these people. And not only that, but wedding dresses. So not only did they steal my inventory, they also stole dresses that were supposed to be picked up.
Oh my gosh, for private clients.
Yeah,
Oh my
and these are
goodness.
brides who are going to get married.
And these are dresses of thousands.
And they have been paid for.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Because, it takes a year. They plan this a year ahead of time.
Yes.
And so there was about, I think, 6 or 7 brides that were supposed to pick up their dresses. And so my main concern when that theft happened was to save these brides.
Oh, of course.
So, but
yes.
since I had a few weeks, I think I had 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. And so I needed to call all my friends in the fashion industry, in the garment district, manufacturers and designer friends. I said, you guys, here are the patterns. Help me recreate all these dresses from scratch because I have to save these girls, these women. I cannot tell them you cannot have a wedding.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Oh my goodness.
So, well, thank God the patterns were with me.
Oh,
You know what I'm
my
saying? So we can recreate it anytime.
Sure.
But the thing is the stress and I'm just stressed out but thank God, in the fashion industry, everybody's kind of like supportive of one another.
That's great to hear.
They support one another.
Absolutely.
And so, I'm very grateful that I have friends like that and we were able to deliver. And so
Wow.
all these brides were all fine.
Wow.
We didn't even tell them what happened until
after.
later. That's when, right after that's when I felt the depression of losing things. That's when I felt that, oh my God, it happened to me. Oh God, I got robbed. That's when it all sank in. That's when I really
You felt vulnerable for
exactly.
the first time.
And so that's when I felt depressed and all. So one of my friends who lives here in Vegas, he's a flight attendant. He was in LA at that time and, he knew what was going on. So he said, David, he says, you cannot think well while you're here. He says, here's the key to my apartment. I'm going to be gone for 30 days. Go to Vegas, get your head out there, chill out until you calm down, and then you can know what are the next steps you have to take.
Wow, how generous of an offer. That's great.
And so it's like starting from scratch.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the sad part there is what it was the beginning of 2008. By the middle of 2008, the economy collapsed. You remember that particular
2008
time?
was a very difficult year.
Yeah. And so it's like, what am I going to do? Like, I cannot open a new studio when, houses are being foreclosed and,
Yes.
everybody's like suffering.
economy was
was so
falling
bad. And so, so that's when my entire focus changed because of one experience in Vegas, an event. The city of Las Vegas, every first Friday of the month, hosts an area in downtown Las Vegas where they close all the streets and a lot of local artists and artisans and craftspeople exhibit their work on the street, And so it's important that you see this so you can see local culture. Because I've always been a tourist in Vegas.
I know, me too.
Right? Before I lived here, I've always been a tourist. So for me, it's about the strip. It's Caesar's Palace, it's the Bellagio, it's this,
It's cosmopolitan.
Exactly. So that's it. I never knew there's certain areas in Vegas that's like Beverly Hills.
Correct.
Or Westwood. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or there's an arts district.
Exactly.
I never knew about these things. And so I went with them. I saw a young girl standing by a light post because she was exhibiting something on a tray table. Those tables that we bring in front of television? She had 2 of them, and she just covered it with some plastic cloth or something, and she had things on top of it. And as I was coming nearer, I realized they were pieces of jewelry. But when I looked at her jewelry, I was blown away. It was a juxtaposition of different shapes and forms of metal I've never seen before. But she created it in such a way that it looked like sculpture around your neck.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's fabulous. And so I came up to her and I said, did you make this? And she said, yes, I did. I said, oh, are you a jewelry designer? And she felt embarrassed, you know. She said, "Oh, no, no, no." She said, "No, I'm not a designer." I said, "Oh, then maybe you are a fashion student?" I said, "Are you going to any fashion school?" And then she said, "I'd love to go to fashion school, but my parents can't afford to take me," she said. And I said, "Okay." I said, "If you don't mind, how old are you?" And she said, "I'm turning 15 next month."
Oh, she's a baby.
She's 14. She's
Yeah.
a child. And I said, "Oh, okay." And I said, "It's amazing." I said, "But what are these?"
This was like a sculpture.
Yeah, it
around
was
her
like,
neck.
but it was pieces of metal that are oddly shaped.
Oh, so like metallurgy. Basically.
Something like that.
Yes.
And so I said, you know, what are their elements? What are these? And then she asked me a question, and she goes, "Do you drive a stick?" That's my reaction. Like, huh? You know, "Do you drive a stick?" I said, "No, no, no, no." And she goes, "Okay." Then I was holding one of the chokers, and she took it from me and she put it around her neck. Fabulous. You know, being a designer, I see all this vision. And the way it is that I can see that a woman wearing a simple little black dress with her piece on her neck.
Oh, beautiful.
Fabulous, you know. And so she explained to me, "You see these little coils that go down?" I said, "Okay, yeah. It's from a mechanism of a clutch."
Oh, no kidding.
Exactly.
From a stick shift. That's great.
Exactly. That's why she asked me
If
if
you
I
knew,
drove.
yes.
You know? And then as she was telling me that each and every aspect of that choker came from car parts.
Wow, that's so cool.
It's very cool. It's like my mind was telling me, you know, I'm looking at the future designer for Tiffany's. I'm looking at this future designer for Van Cleef and Arpels. But at the same time, my mind was telling me, what's going to happen to this young girl? She just told me that she cannot afford to go to fashion school to kind of like assist her and help her in her creative growth. You know, so what's going to happen to her? And how many young kids are there in this town that has this naturally gifted talent, but they don't have a program or support or
a
money
mentor.
or something
Yeah.
that would help kind of establish this talent? And then I said, "So nobody really looked at your things?" I said, "Not everybody understood it, you know, except you," she said. I said, "Well, so you haven't sold. How much are you selling them?" I said, and she goes, "Well, how much do you want to buy it?" You know, and then, you know, through the story, she told me that her father works for a junkyard.
Oh, no kidding. So that's how she managed to
Yeah.
get the parts.
And on the weekends, her mother works for the casinos. So she has to be there like till wee hours in the morning. So her father doesn't want to leave her in the house alone. So her father would always take her with him to the junkyard, where that's where she does her homework, that's where he does her
Wow.
computer, and that's where she sees all these things
And
scattered.
gets inspired.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And so it is an incredible story. And so finally I said, "So okay," she said, "how much do you want to buy them?" I said, "How many pieces did you make?" She had 7. I said, "Would you sell them to me for $50 each?" And she looked at me like I was crazy. As I was walking back from a distance, I could see that she was struggling because she didn't have any bag or something to wrap those items with. But you know, there are magazines that are free on the sidewalk, you know. So I saw her took one of the magazines and she tore the pages, and that's where she wrapped each and every garment, accessory, right? And she didn't even have Scotch tape or anything to seal it. But she had a way of wrapping it like origami.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? So it locks whatever is it.
Everything
That's
she
truly
did was
creative,
artistic,
right?
yes.
But it's the simplicity of it all. Out of nothing.
Out of nothing.
Out of nothing. And as she gave me the bag, I gave her the cash. I said, "Honey, you have to count the cash." She says, "Oh, I'm sure it's okay." I said, "No, darling, count the cash." And she goes, "Oh, I don't think you'll cheat me." I said, "That's nothing, has nothing to do with that. I'm already teaching you how to become a businesswoman."
person.
By the time it got to about 180, close to 200, she started to cry.
Oh.
She started sobbing, you know, and I said to her, "Why are you crying? You're supposed to be happy." And she goes, "I am happy, but now I can buy rhinestones.
Oh my gosh.
Now I can buy beads."
Oh.
Which means she can improve her work.
Her work.
Instead of
yes.
just
sticking with free materials
like
from the junkyard.
trash, literally. And so I stood there, make sure she rode the bus, and before she rode the bus, she looked at me one more time and she said, "Why are you nice to me?" Yeah, and I said to her, "Because one day you're going to be nice to someone else."
Oh, you're so good. So you've already taught her about reciprocity.
Exactly. Because one day It's to give back.
It's to
you know?
give back. It's
Exactly.
always about
So you
giving
have to
back.
be nice to someone else. And then she rode the bus.
What a great
I gave her my
story.
card. I said, the moment you get home, I was concerned. The
course.
moment you get home, call me. Because, maybe we could design something. I kind of
Someday,
like,
yes.
you know.
You planted the seed.
Exactly. Ready. I was walking to look at where my friends who I went there with. I was talking to my head. I was telling myself, I said to myself, I'm not Calvin Klein. I am not as famous as Calvin Klein. And the sad part about it, I don't have Calvin Klein's bank account. All right? So I said, but you know what? There is some things that I have that I could probably use. Famous people know me. And probably I can use that resource to help these kids. Somehow, somewhere, in whatever way, using a resource that could connect me to something.
Absolutely.
And so that's when I planned to start the Las Vegas Fashion Design Council.
That's an incredible story.
Yeah. And so I called my lawyers the following day and they said, where are you? We've been leaving you messages because they were taking care of the insurances, of the theft and all that. And I said, well, I'm in Vegas. You should have at least told us, you answer your phone. I said, okay, I was not thinking about what happened, of the theft in my studio. I completely kind of like put it aside. I was thinking of this. So I asked them, I said, how do you start a nonprofit? And so they were wondering what's going on. I said, okay, I'll see you when I get home. And so, from one thing led to another, and we had to apply for it. They had to explain to me. And, there's a big expense towards it. So, after all said and done, the papers were filed and all that. And it took about a year before we got our certificate.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so it was a fascinating, at the same time, very rewarding, because I felt, same culture is what you can give.
Absolutely.
And some of the designers I've already mentored are now in business.
That's incredible.
Since 2012, some of them are already creating just like what I do. They're starting developing their own, and so why not? That's why my slogan says so. What matters is how, others have become because of you.
That's amazing. I am in a dream right now. David Tupaz's studio is so whimsical and so much fun. I mean, there's jewelry, there's fashion, there's all sorts of handbags, beautiful accessories everywhere, bows, clips, pearls. This is a dream come true for anybody who loves fashion, who loves art, and definitely custom creations. This is a very special place, so I hope that you will come here someday, and if not, you can always shop David Tupaz's fashions online. I'd like to also have David tell you about some of the people whom he has designed for in his career, and he's going to share that with us.
So this is the area of the studio, of the boutique, where I keep the couture styles, and where my clients, they see the sample and they order it based on it. So this particular outfit was supposed to be worn for the Met Gala this May, but the Met Gala was canceled.
That's in New York City, right?
Yes, at the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Wow.
And so this particular outfit, as you can see here, is all handmade.
Oh my goodness.
All of that black crystal is attached to an almost lace-like, has movement.
Oh.
See? And the sleeves is, of course, with that particular silk organza cascading ruffles.
Wow.
Right? The client loved the outfit so much that, I'm supposed to go to New York and deliver it. And then she saw it after she fitted it. She said, Dave, make me the same outfit, but as a dress version. Because this is a long gown version.
Oh, yes.
So she make it something different, but still the same composition. And so I did that.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. That's like the after party.
Yes.
The gown for the formal event, and this
Yeah.
is for the party. Look at that. Everything's handmade, hand
Yes.
put together, handcrafted. Fun, fun, fun.
Yeah. So those are some of the pieces that I make in the couture. One of my favorite is a material that is from Como, Italy. It's called liquid gold because it actually feels like liquid.
Wow. Look at that shimmery, shiny silkiness.
This is the back. It has all this drape that comes out to the front.
Stunning.
So all of this gathers, goes to the front, and is met by this diamond brooch.
Beautiful,
And
David.
it drapes because the material is actually like liquid gold.
Gorgeous. Thank you.
So this is some of the couture. There you go.
Show us around. Give us a tour.
Sure. Most of the things I'm already doing is resort, which towards the end of the year, a lot of my clients who are, live in areas where winter is harsh, a lot of them leave town and they go to like Florida.
The snowbirds.
Yeah, exactly. Or
Yes.
they go to like San Diego. And so I started with my resort line, which extends to my spring collection. As you can see, some of the black and whites here. See the whole off-the-shoulder lace that I did. And then of course the whole black and white theme.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
And the famous black and white suit that is inspired from Chanel, who is my, I love her. I follow her formula. Simplicity is the best
Yes.
in fashion. And so, most of the things you see on display are the things that I've shown in my collections in New York. Part of the fall collection is over there, and then this particular section of the studio is where I do my ready-to-wear. I make four of each look, because everything is made here in the US, so it's very expensive if I do a manufacturing thing of different sizes. So I only make 4 of my designs in this collection, in this segment. And then when it's sold, it's sold. I don't repeat my designs anymore.
Wow.
And so, of course, the famous classic inspired from Chanel, that-
Stunning.
Yeah, but I kind of like added my own touch to it,
Yes.
But then the style is there, that whole classic black and white story. I even matched it with a hat.
That piece is coming home with me today.
And so this is it. This is where most of my ready-to-wear line, like this is my collection of pleated skirts for evening.
Gorgeous. Sparkly.
Because pleats are in. And I also have my flirty little skirts that's made of mesh right there. So I try to make fun things. I try to create designs. This is a linen top.
Love that. That's beautiful.
The thing is, I don't want to design things that my clients would. I saw something similar in Macy's, or I saw something similar at TJ Maxx or Ross. Or
Oh
whatever.
no, that is not you.
But what I'm saying is like, I try to create pieces that become, like look at this top.
Ah, stunning. Absolutely beautiful.
Right?
What material is that?
It's chiffon.
Oh, gorgeous. Could you tell us about some of the materials, where they're sourced from?
Oh, they're sourced from different parts of the world. Like this is Venetian lace.
Ah,
And I had to attach the pearls to it myself.
by hand.
By
my
hand.
goodness. Wow.
And you just wear a tank top inside. You can wear it with, with a skirt or pants or everything. I also have another color. I used to have a black one, but that sold out first. The other color I have is the champagne.
Oh, I love that. Oh, how pretty.
This is the champagne color. So it's easy tops. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That you can easily wear. I don't make avant-garde clothes. I don't make crazy stuff. That when my clients would say, "Where the hell am I gonna wear that?"
Right.
It's like stuff.
It's not the runway line.
No. And then another classic look
Ah,
is the bell-shaped
beautiful.
black and white story going on.
And what would you wear that with as a bottom?
Oh, you could wear it with either like a
Houndstooth.
palazzo,
Sure. Oh yes, palazzos. That looks
you know,
great.
or you can even wear it with leggings.
Oh, how fun! That's a fun look.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I try to make things, like a striped pants.
Excellent.
So it creates that graphic illusion,
Yes.
that whole pattern stripe story going on. And you can definitely wear it with a skirt.
Oh, I think that's my favorite look.
Right?
Right there.
So those are the things that I have. And there's a variety of them. Then one of my famous tops.
I love that. You could wear that with jeans.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
But the
great
material
top.
comes from Switzerland. It has it's not fur. It's like fiber, like little hairs that gives it the material some texture.
Beautiful.
And it has those little flower star embroidery on the fabric. I don't know if
fun.
that shows though.
It's whimsical. Let me get a little closer. Oh, how cute. Very whimsical. Yes.
Yeah. But then a classic cut,
Yes. Oh, stunning.
right?
David, your clothes are absolutely beautiful. For the audience that is interested in purchasing your fashion, where could they find that?
Well, I've started a website. Some of the pieces are already there because, at first I was not really into the whole online shopping thing. I wasn't there yet, but now with the pandemic, everybody shops online. So I started my own website. It's called charmsandpearls.com.
Excellent. So if people want to buy
See
stuff,
things. They have my masks are there. A few of the ready to wear are there. So you can go to charmsandpearls.com.
Great.
Yeah. One of my best sellers is, of course, the designer mask I've been designing since the pandemic started. Because knowing what's going on, we're going to be wearing it for a while.
Right.
Although we're more than 6 feet distance, so I'm not wearing my mask for the shoot. So, but we're doing our social distancing. So I created some with Swarovski crystals. One of my favorite is, of course, the dragonfly. It's 3-dimensional.
Beautiful.
With crystals.
And these are made of neoprene, is that
Yes,
right?
it's made of neoprene. Neoprene is a material, the thicker part of neoprene is what they use for scuba diving outfits.
Ah, yes.
And so then I created, of course, the butterfly with bling. Then I have different styles here. I have for men, but my best seller is the bee, which is that bee. And I think I sold out on that one. But most of all of this are going to be at the charmsandpearls.com website. You can order from there, and this is for the men's. I use a lot of royal insignias. Like this is the coat of arms for the royal household in Windsor Castle.
Oh, wow.
And this is, of course, the symbol of the crown of
Yes.
England, right? And of course, Queen Elizabeth's monogram, which is ER, which is Elizabeth Regina. There you go. So, I even did this because somebody requested me to do something with Black Lives Matter, which I have nothing against, everybody has their own freedom to express what they want in this country.
Absolutely.
So I created that, and some people ordered this, if you can create and you can establish some sort of a message of what you're trying to express through fashion, why not?
David, I couldn't help but notice when walking around that your designs incorporate some of the Filipino influences, particularly the lace and the frills, and absolutely love it. I'd love for you to tell us about it.
Well, the Filipino culture is inspired from the Spanish Empire.
Yes.
The Philippines has been under Spanish rule for 400 years, since the 16th century. And so the influence of Spain has definitely kind of went through the native culture and kind of blended itself. And it was in the 17th century that actually Catholic nuns that came to the Philippines were the ones who started teaching the natives how to make lace.
Oh, wonderful. We're the number one
Belgian
lace
nuts.
makers
Exactly.
in the world.
And so, I started creating that in my design, as you can see here.
Oh.
It's a combination of 100% English cotton and with an insert of lace over here.
Stunning.
And this is the back where the bow is. That's the back. And the front is zips out.
Oh.
That you can wear it as it is or as a cardigan with a tank top inside.
That is very Vegas, very Florida, very warm weather.
And I also
Gorgeous.
did it in a black version.
Gorgeous.
Then of course I did this collection.
Ah.
As you can see, it's inspired from the convents, right?
Yes.
Like you're going to Holy Communion kind of look. But
you-
then it has that very Victorian sort of turn of the century sleeve,
Are these sourced from the Philippines, the lace?
No, the lace come from Switzerland, actually,
Oh, wow.
There.
Earlier you mentioned that piece too. Oh, you might want to talk some more of those if you like, for sure.
Oh yeah, well these are just tops that, as you see in that you can focus. This is the top I use for the black and white skirt over there.
Oh, right. Yes, for this piece right here. You had also mentioned you have an outfit behind you with the Maria Clara influence. Tell us about that.
Well, as you know, the butterfly sleeves is famous in the Philippines.
Yes.
So I created my own version of the butterfly sleeves, but this is a short, sort of like jacket, like a spring jacket, but it has a peplum in the back.
Gorgeous. Look at that
And this is all
detail.
hand embroidered and hand attached. Panels of different sorts of elements of laces and florets
Beautiful.
that is attached to it.
Stunning.
There.
What material is that?
This is English gauze cotton.
Gorgeous.
So I create that, this is very touch, I mean, it doesn't necessarily look Filipino, it could be
No,
anything.
could be
but
anything.
But being a Filipino, you get the inspiration is there somehow.
Absolutely, and I totally see it. So I look at it and it warms my heart when I see it.
And this is another version of it.
Oh, look at that. Oh, wow, look at that detail.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is very hard to make. So you cannot manufacture this by the dozen.
No,
Because
absolutely
each
not.
is hand done by itself. So that's the couture.
That is couture, yes.
Yes.
It's what makes it unique and
Exactly.
special.
Is that it has that particular touch.
Thank
So,
you.
You're welcome. So
There really was no way that I could walk out of David Tupaz's studio today without getting something for myself. So here, I bought the shirt that you saw on the mannequin earlier at the beginning. So I have this lovely clip-on bow inspired by the Chanel Camellia, and I'm so excited to wear this shirt, of course, with my pearls. It's a perfect fit for me, and actually David spotted it right away. He knew exactly what my style was, so he's very talented. So David is going to tell us about some of the wonderful clientele he has worked with throughout his career. And he's got some photos here to show us, but David, please tell us.
Well, there's a lot of them. I mean, I've working in Hollywood, I've met a lot of people, and I'm very grateful that they actually supported and patronized and kind of like advertised me in a way that they would wear some of my outfit in the red carpet or even in their own personal lives, whether it's a family wedding or whatever. And one of them is Kris Kardashian, who actually even modeled for me for free in one of the LA Fashion Week that I did in Los Angeles at the Beverly Hills, Wilshire Beverly Hills Hotel. God, there's so much. Marielle Hemingway wore my gowns to one of the events that she did. I think she was nominated. I don't know if that was the Emmys or one of those awards. She wore it. Then the director Keiko Ibi, who won the Academy Awards for the documentary film she did. She's a Japanese director based out of Dallas, Texas. And she was wearing my purple dress at the Oscars, and everybody, even People magazine, wrote about it.
Wow.
And so there's so many of them that I know, like Taylor Swift, who you know, at the Golden Globes, there's Vanessa Hudgens, John Voight, and so many of them. So, you know, I think when you're a designer, you come to a point where when your design is appreciated by very important people, I think that actually is very beneficial to your influence and to your name, because, you know, all of these people have followers and they have fans, and, you know, your name gets out there and the press likes to write about it.
Yes, we
So,
do.
I know. And so that's very good, you know. I mean, these women and these clients and these friends can actually wear the most expensive clothes in the world. They can afford to buy a Chanel, they can afford to buy a Saint Laurent, you know, but the fact that they wore mine, you know, is something that kind of like, you know, I get to pat my own shoulders once in a while that, you know what, David, you did well. You know?
did.
You know, it's like, how do you say that? There's a term for it. It's like it's some sort of an approval or some sort of a, there's another term for it.
Validation.
Validation, there you go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, you're
It's like a
welcome.
validation that, you know, you're in that level of quality, that you're in that level of design and creativity, that, you know, powerful, famous people support you. So, you know, and one of the things that I like about this is that, you know, in the American dream, it's really the ability not to impress people. But I think when you really know your craft and you think you have already perfected your craft and actually refined your taste when it comes to fashion, then that's, I think, when you get noticed, you know, because I always believe that before anything else, perfect what you do first. Perfect your craft, perfect your ability, your talent, your creativity, the way you work. Perfect that first, then everything else will follow. I don't know if it was the New York Times, but somebody asked me in one of the shows in New York, it's like, you know, is it being a designer, you know, is it one of the things that you're interested in is to become famous? I said no. You know, if ever I deserve to be famous name-wise or brand-wise, it's not because of me or the person I'm associated with. It's because my product and my design speaks for itself.
I noticed earlier there's a picture of, is that Natalie Cole?
Yes.
Can you show us? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Natalie Cole is somebody that I've known for years, and you know, unfortunately, when she passed, she was one of those people that supported my work. And so, in this particular photo, we were together. And so, and of course, I love her father and her. You know, I always play the music from Nat, her father, and of course, her. And so, it's amazing. You know, it's like creativity, supporting one another. I love her music. She loves my fashion.
Do you have some more photos here?
I have tons.
Do you want to tell us about them? Look at this wall of photos. You have tons. I'm sure you have more that aren't even out here, but
Yeah.
do tell.
Well, there's so many of them, celebrities and designers, and you know, one of my friends in New York, who's Jan von Furstenberg, who's also a designer and the president of the CFDA, which is the Council of Fashion Designers Association of America. You know, I think, you know, when one thing I like about the whole industry of fashion is that we support one another. So it's not a matter of who's famous, who makes more money, you know what I'm saying, who's in the cover of Vogue or stuff. No, it's like everybody supports one another.
Today, David is going to talk to us about some of his contributions that he's made here in Las Vegas, contributions in the world of fashion and design. He is so humble that I have to extract these answers out of him. So David, I found out quite recently that you are on several boards here in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. Tell us about those positions.
Well, I was appointed by Mayor Carolyn Goodman in 2014 to sit in the board of the Arts Commission. The Arts Commission for the City of Las Vegas is responsible for preserving public art. At the same time, it's the enhancing and the beautification process for the city. And so she put me there, and in 2014, and it's a 4-year tenure. It would have expired 2018. But in 2018, I think they loved my job. I think they liked the way I did things. So the city council and Mayor Goodman extended me until 2023 to stay in the board of the Arts Commission. And it's different because I was mayor appointed, whereas all the others were kind of like voted in, you know, and yeah, so it's an honor, and Mayor Goodman has always been one of my biggest supporters in the city.
She's wonderful.
And I guess, you know, it's fun though. I'm the only Filipino on the whole board.
That's
you know.
fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
I also did some more research and found that you participate in a scholarship. I mean, you do so much to give back.
Well,
to
I
the
was
community.
board of trustees for the Miss Nevada Scholarship Organization, which is actually part of the Miss America beauty pageant.
Wow.
And so, you know, another good friend of mine who was the former chairman of the Miss Nevada Scholarship Organization, Jody Fonfa, was the one who nominated me to sit in the board of trustees. And then, of course, you know, I'm creative director of a publication that I'm partners with, which is Chic Compass. We started the magazine called Le Vague, and then we changed the name to Chic Compass. And so this particular publication, it's an international publication. So, but it's all based here in Vegas, and we talk primarily of the talents we have here in the city of Las Vegas, because a lot of people don't know that, you know, besides gaming and entertainment, Vegas also has talented people, you know. And so we publish the magazine, and it's called Chic Compass, and we also have a digital online sort of issue that if you cannot get the print, you can see the issue over online.
What's the website so we can tell our audience?
It's www.chiccompass.com. Right.
Absolutely, it's all about, you know, that ability to help people grow in their career, just
Exactly.
as people have helped you, and it's always nice to be able to give back.
Thank you. You know, I keep myself busy, I guess, too much, you know. But then again, you know, if I don't do it, who's gonna do it?
Your accomplishments and contributions are so appreciated, especially by someone like me. I'm a huge fan.
Well, and I think, you know, what I do in the city, being a designer, you know, I also, when we started the whole publication thing, is that, you know, how do you reach out? You know, of course, now today with social media, it's easy. But then again, there is something different when you have a tangible thing that you open and read, you know. And it's appropriate to connect the creative juice of the city through a publication. Yeah.
And one more surprise that I found out about you, David. You are so full of surprises.
And one of the things that I was interested in is probably you could be a contributing writer to the magazine.
I would absolutely do that for you in a heartbeat, David.
Yeah.
I would be happy to do that.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I would love to contribute.
Yeah.
Something that I discovered with you, I mean, you are this media mogul. You also have a partnership in a TV media station here in Vegas. Tell us about that.
Well, it's called The Asian TV, and our chairman and CEO is Carl, who happened to be a friend of yours as well. And he approached me in 2013, actually, between 2012 and 13, to be part of the television show, and in such a way that I did have a television show of my own. Then I put it on hold when I opened the whole studio. But we're going to revive it. It's called Essence of Style by David Tupaz. So one of the things I'm trying to develop is to bring the industry to Las Vegas, because, you know, 85% of American-made apparel is all done in California.
Wow.
So the proximity of California to Nevada, we're practically neighbors. So there's no reason that the industry couldn't branch out over in our city, because not only will it help the creative talent that we are trying to do, but it will also bring jobs.
Yes.
You know,
exactly.
to the city. And so the city council and the mayor's office is very much supportive of that project.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah.
You're so amazing. You're so full of positivity and creativity that you inspire me and you inspire so many others, and I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to sit down and speak.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad that you came and visited me, you know, all the way from Sarasota, Florida.
Oh,
know?
speaking of Florida, David, before we say goodbye, I would love for you to tell our audience that you have ties to fashion in Florida, and each year you've been coming to Florida as
Yes.
a fashion show in Tampa. Tell us some more about that.
Well, you know, Florida is such a big state, and as a matter of fact, each and every city has some sort of a fashion involvement. They have the Miami Fashion Swim Week that they always do, and then they have the Florida Fashion Week too, you know. And so Tampa, I was invited to one of the biggest events a few years back. It's called Chill Lounge. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
Chill Lounge. It's one of the events that's so popular in Tampa, and a very good friend of mine, Brandy Kaminar, who's a marketing executive, invited me to be part of it. It was my first ever show in Tampa, Florida. And so we did it in St. Petersburg and over by the ocean.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it was a beautiful event, and there was about 3,000 people that came to attend.
That's incredible.
Exactly. So it was my first introduction to Tampa society and of course the Tampa fashion people. And they've supported me since. You know, I was interviewed on television 3 times or twice, I think, on Good Day Tampa.
That's
one of
great.
those shows. And from then on, I kept connected with all the Tampa people. And so when we and my partner, I have an event called the Industry Fashion Show, which is just another version of Fashion Week. You know, so when we highlighted the cities that we were planning to do it, like New York, LA, Sacramento, I said, why don't we also do Tampa? Because I already have a following in Tampa, and Tampa doesn't have anything fashion at that time.
Not like you.
Exactly. And so we did it. And what we did is we brought designers from New York, designers from LA, designers from Sacramento to kind of like, and of course Florida, to actually come in to create a fashion sort of event where all these designers are highlighted in one big event.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to find a way where you and I could collaborate.
Oh, exactly. We can do Sarasota Fashion
Yes.
Week.
Oh my goodness. Already, see, you have these 2 creative people, and we get inspired by just one little thing.
And the thing is, you already have a beneficiary, which is the Sarasota Library.
Yes, the Selby Public Library. I
Yeah.
would love to find a way where we could have a partnership and work together,
Yeah.
and it's a win-win. Well, David, I sincerely thank you for all of the time that you have made.
Thank you.
It has been amazing to hear about your career and your contributions and your achievements. You have accomplished so much, and I am so proud of you, as many people are in this
Oh, thank
community
you.
and
Thank
your
you.
home country. So many thanks and much love to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
I've had a tremendous time today at the studio of David Tupaz here in Las Vegas. David has so much humility and so much thoughtfulness in giving back, and beliefs and values and reciprocity, which is something I really admire. Despite all of his fame, despite all of his success, he's always given back to society and to those in need, and for humanitarian causes, and it's something I've always really admired in David. I hope you've enjoyed today's program. I hope that you will check out more of David's work. He's continually designing and creating. It's been a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you so much. Here's our last window. Let's take a look at what David has here. Look at these beautiful pieces. He has influences from all around the world in his designs. Let's read what the sign says. David Tupaz, American Couture, custom made to measure design. So here's all of his information. If you'd like to make an appointment, if you're in Vegas, that's his number, but he'll also take you online. And here his email and his website, davidtupaz.com.